afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacaster. Me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero, Select Defender of the Fatherland, your Lord and Master. Off here to a 1 vs 1 own crossing in the woods. In the south, we got Sotjador fighting for the Oberkommando West Germany, Deutschland. Taking on the role here of the Panzerdivision West. In the north, we got findeed fighting for America, freedom, democracy. For the 4th Armored Division, backed up here by elements of the 1 and 1st Airborne. This is already popped into Airborne company with grenades, machine guns and infantry versus Sotjador's Elite Armored, Overwatch and fortifications. With triple anti-tank and bulletins, focusing on blowing up stuff with his anti-tank weapons. We got double rifle here on the way for findeed, standard stuff, though a lot of the recent Airborne company builds do tend to involve getting a lot of early Pathfinders out and basically shooting your way through the Germans with those. In the south, Sotjador here with Kubelwagens and full skirmishes, the noble and ever so lightly armoured Kubelwagen. Used for reconnaissance purposes, transport purposes and other things. I believe someone uses ambulances. Full moving up the east, here slowly. Masons bringing in as well, wiring off the entrance to the house here to make it a bit harder there for Sotjador to sneak up. West side being aggressively secured by the Sturmpioniere with the Kubelwagen backing up. And we got more full skirmishes on the way there for Sotjador. So good stuff there. Kubelwagen westwards there, got to hit straight for the fuel point here. And there we go, we got the first Pathfinder squad out here for findeed. First skirmish here by the western point here with Sturm Pioneers as the rifle. At range, the Sturm Pioneers will lose out due to the assault rifles dropping off in DPS quite notably across ranges. In the east, rifle creeping up, and we got relations backing it all up. Full save around the point here. He could lay up some sandbags to help him defend as he's even comes on the fire later down the road. And there you go. Rifle advancing. Partly alien the flank exposed, and that's something Sotjador is quickly going to take advantage of. We've got the Kubelwagen gaining from the front, and then the Sturmpanzer on the flank, threatening here the rifle. findeed's going to have to fall back pretty quickly, and there we go. Hits retreat button. He might suffer another casualty here, which of course be slightly helpful for Sotjador, but overall nice tactical handling on this fight in the west. In the east, a bit more of a standoff situation. Resistance immediately retreating. Then we got the Pathfinders on watch. So on their own, they are struggle a bit versus the Krauts, and we got fast take here for findeed. We got the platoon command post being upgraded already. That'll probably be a fast move into the mechanized platoon command post and getting out a steward, possibly an M20 here versus Sotjador. Sandbags up in the center. More infantry for Sotjador, and we got the truck on the way to the Schwerer Wehrmacht Schlepper. Focus in the east, and straight into the Pathfinders here, opening up with M1 Garands and carbines and scope rifle with M1 Garands. Back here we got troops good to go, trucks slowly arriving. Skirmishing on the west, we got the rifle caught out now, but the Kubelwagen not good spot. We got the steel punching occupying the house as well, making it harder for findeed to work closely. Overall, penning down findeed here, and findeed overall might just benefit from saving and disengaging from just trying to push eastwards, trying to get behind Sotjador, who by the way is moving straight into Elite Armored. While Overwatch is getting popular quite a bit, there's certainly also others beginning to move towards Elite Armored, as it does offer them some other tools which can be quite strong if handled correctly. Rather than the need to retreat, they're very low on health. This is not really good engagement there for findeed. The longer it carries on with that one, Lieutenant out. Might go for some 50 calibers. You start there, findeed is moving down to Sotjador, and there we go, we got the 5th caliber way here for findeed. Sotjador is very slowly bleeding out. Pathfinder flying current fires well for the reactions. There we go, cutting down a few of the Sturm Pioneers from afar. Picking off the Crouch as they pee to weaken bit by bit. So 3 kills on the Pathfinders. Basically troops are sent ahead of the major airdrop insertion to set up drop zones and lights and clear terrain. Little fun fact, there we go, Lieutenant pushing in to the full skirmishes. We'll have to see if he upgrades them at some point. And with what? Mechanized regular here for Sotjador and the Panzerdivision. Pathfinder sending about. We got the 5th caliber on the way there as well. Rifleman Lieutenant hanging back. findeed clearly not in a rush to sort of get his men shot to bits. And we got the 221 on the way here for Sotjador. Panzerdivision probably not access to 221s. Probably had access to better armored cars than that one. Fun fact there. A fun note. Don't have a fact, but I think they've primarily been stuff like the Lux, but also 231 armored cars. Well, 234s. That is the ones that would be used for the Puma 234s, which is by just one out of several variants based off the 234 armored car chassis. We got the M21 Leaf of Indeed going for some fast light vehicles here versus the Krauts to put some pressure on them, focus on the fire from the 50 caliber. They're already setting up the sandbags, Sotjador here, showing some nice thoroughness, preparing positions ahead of any allied assaults. Good work. In the west, got the 2-1 joining in, backed up by the cool Wagner small armoured reconnaissance patrol here. Strikes for Sotjador for the fatherland. Gutting Findeed's leaders on the west side. The Pathfinder still hanging back. M20 almost done in the east. He is not making much progress. We can see the Sotjador slowly falling back to the next position. And same with the other Fulsker squad. M20 is almost done there for Findeed, who is, by the way, so far bleeding out victory points swiftly here in the face of Sotjador. 50 caliber moving up, having on the Fulskers is there. Rifleman Pathfinder sending out here, and 221 taking a bit of light hits there. And there we go, we got the M20 utility car for Findeed upgrading with armoured skirts. 50 caliber digging to the hammer away, Fulskers being upgraded with assault rifles. Sotjador does not miss a beat. 221 moving about, and there you go. Opening up there on the Fulskers a bit. Lieutenant routed, 50 caliber opening up as well. Just continue to bleed them away, but not at a very fast pace. There you go, M20 engaging the 221's armour. Not much protection there, there's the M20's 50 caliber machine gun. Push for the centre as well. There you can see Sotjador's forces slowly being routed. His push for the Lux has left his front line a bit precarious. You could have gone for machine gun to help back things up. Now, of course, the question is Findeed prepared for the Lux? I mean, if he lays down to mines and then hopes, maybe gets Sotjador to run his Lux into that, that'd be a pretty good situation. If indeed that'd be a pretty great trade-off. I mean, 60 munitions for a light tank is really good. Not for Sotjador, obviously, but Findeed's not doing that for Sotjador's benefit. Quite the opposite. Fulskers being slowly bled out. I mean, that's some heavy fire there. We got the 50 caliber machine gun, and we got the M20's 50 caliber. They're just hammering away. The Fulskers are not going to last long. So the longer his Sotjador stalls, I mean, sure, he might buy himself some more time, but he does risk a small chance the unit gets wiped if he's not careful. Ambulance away there for Findeed has been in bad need of it. And they're going to try and get a wipe here, though. In fact, he's pretty close to it. We've got the Lux out, and Findeed has no counters to it, really. I mean, there we go, got the wipe, but there's no mines. At most, he can at least get one anti-tank rifleman, and the problem is the only unit with that is back at the base. Hey Charles, remember to bring the anti-tank rifle right? God damn it, Charles, not again. 5th time this month. 5th time. We're just 2 days into it. I'm trying to quickly escape here. The Lux. Nice save there for Findeed, but it rather sort of undercuts all the progress he just made. Findeed, there's a very quick turn of bazooka there to his men, and we got the captain on my front to tank guns, indicating that Findeed is not going to try and go for Steward here, probably because he doesn't have the resources for it. In the meanwhile, though, Sotjador hissing a chance, goes straight for the base, got bazooka fire from the M20 crew and the lieutenant here, firing their bazookas right at the Lux there, doing some light damage here, forcing Sotjador to pull back, but otherwise it is putting the pedal to the metal here against the armies. Fulskers back up. There you go. Lux is blocking the retreat path here of the 221. Not so good movement there by Sotjador, but does in the end escape. Forced to fall back here, popping in a rifle squad into the M20 seems a bit ambitious. As long as he doesn't lose it. Academy, they're also backing up here for Sotjador. Arriving to the front line ever so slowly. Pathfinder's joining in. So if Indeed's gotta have to wait for the captain, and then gotta wait for the anti-tank, and of course with the captain he can supervise production of the anti-tank and he can get it out more or less immediately. The question of course is, does Findeed make use of his ability? I mean, most players tend not to be quite aware of it and so they ignore it, but who knows, Findeed might just be one of those few people who realise you can do that stuff. Sotjador following up with the Puma, the 234-2. That was the specific version known as the Puma, by the way. The other versions did not have any names like that, as a fun fact. Rather than getting absolutely hammered, trying to cross into negative cover, the Lux just shatters them. 5th cover joining in, M20 good to go. Captain moving forward, tank almost done, is not supervised. Point there being C still. Sotjador's forced to concede ground here to the Americans. Gotta be a bit careful with him, M20 still putting pressure on Sotjador. Panzer Division forced to concede ground just a tad here further. Lieutenant moving up, fires a bazooka hit there at the 221, gets some damage in. Entertaining moving up, but the flank is theoretically exposed. Thankfully though for him, Sotjador's got nothing that can actually punish it, but it's got the kid nearby which could theoretically get out. Using the M20 to spot for the anti-tank, good work. In fact, the M20 was usually meant to spot for anti-tank crews, more specifically the tank. So as there you go, smoke pop, we got the Puma about here. Misses, so that's pretty lucky. He pops out of it just to increase his chance, or maybe just to save the bazooka. Assuming he's not going to be able to save the M20, he at least wants to save the crew. I think that's a pretty sharp decision there by findeed, to be honest. If you can't save it, at least save the crew, and that of course isn't an option that the Americans have to sort of take. In this case, it actually works out that the Puma crew apparently just can't hit the broadside of a barn at that moment, even from the inside, and the M20 escapes. They're worse for wear. Still, in the meanwhile, also is happening. findeed has very stealthily and intelligently crept up on the left side and seized points there. Very good play there by findeed. Entertaining also good to go. Turns going to need some repairs, troops reinforcing there. We'll have to see what findeed does next. A few paratroopers at the right spot, I think, could do a lot here from findeed and America. And we got a 50 caliber number 2 on the way here as well for findeed Finland. I was about to say the fatherland because, you know, that also starts with an F, but he is playing as the Americans. Technically Finland. Well, he isn't from Finland, he's just Finn, you know. Jokes in that. That might be more of a Danish joke. Was partly technically also part of the Axis forces, you know. Details. Anyways, fixing up the M20 50 cover out here for findeed. Freedom, democracy. Yeah, you can't really spell democracy with an F, sadly. And he's booming about here, taking a few hits here, but overall not really suffering from all the infantry. It's correct, machine gun and main gun in the hand, having quite an impact there on the Americans out in the open. Got the M1 moving up here, ready to plant a few solid 50mm shells into the Puma, and there you go, direct hit. It was quick to fall back, since the M1 can quickly take it apart if Sotjador is not careful. Of course, the addition of more 50 calibers is a really good idea here for findeed. Helps to sort of control Sotjador's infantry moves. The West looks moving up here. Nice play there. Even if it's making a bigger move there. On the other hand, though, it is a bit risky, like get stuck in anything. The Puma is, or the Lux is quite dead. But on the other hand, if it works out, then it works out. And so far, it's working out. MD-34 by here to back up Sotjador's forces. A nice addition, though I might argue a tad late here for Sotjador. What's worth noting, Sotjador's actually got almost no infantry. He's got 2 faults in the Sturmpanzer, which for an Oberkommandos player is actually kind of rare. So I mean, that's actually a bit noteworthy there from Sotjador. He's got the tech up on the way, the Schwer Panzerhauptquartier. Creeping up here with 50 calibers, Lieutenant and the anti-tank gun, causing a rout here for Sotjador's position. And findeed, I mean, come from, I would say, weak start has now managed to gain control most of the map through, I would say, solid use of his support weapons and even his light vehicles here. So nice play there with findeed. Partly would think, you know, a few M6 anti-tank mounts in the right spots, though, could give Sotjador a few grey hairs on his head. Meanwhile, repair pioneers have already been upgraded to the Mechanized Regiment headquarters. Very nice. Does free up Sotjador there from micromanagement at crucial moments. And the West, we've got the movement there with the Pathfinders, the captain here. So far, otherwise, not really a lot else of the doctor. I mean, he could have just said at one point called it anti-tanks, then going for the captain, and we'd be not seeing paratroopers or 50 caliber dropping. I mean, it's a bit, you know, leaves one wondering why did he then go for the doctrine. Lux though went down. Oh, not Lux, the Kubelwagen went down. The Lux is, in fact, anything but down. Kubelwagen on there has seen its last wagoning days. Sotjador's struggling a bit here. Findeed now has overall map control. He's also got a larger force. They could actually begin taking up for armor here, but there you go. Sotjador strikes on the west for the fatherland. He tearing into the 50 caliber crew there. Guarding the poor bastards. Rapidly. Right here for findeed in the east. We got the MD filming about their 1 kill so far for the German army. Got tank traps up here for findeed as well. Big healing about them. We got weapon racks unlocked now here for findeed for freedom. No tech up though, no paratroopers. And just as he does take up, but I mean, he just so far has gone for Airborne for single squad or Pathfinder. It's a bit funny in most cases, you know, before the patch, most people just go for it for the stock rocket strafe. So now we actually got somebody who just went for it for single Pathfinder. Then again, he might have other plans, of course. Sotjador rather forced his hand into, you know, not going for paratroopers right away. We'll have to see how that works out though. We got forces there on the way though. Sotjador slightly working the infantry though. I think he would benefit actually from Obersoldaten with a light machine gun. I mean, he's got a ton of munitions, so a few Obersoldaten with an LMG-34 could put some pressure then for Findeed's forces. Findeed, by the way, he's actually mine, but it's rather close to his own calf point, which I feel is a tad too defensive as a Sotjador. I mean, a more aggressive mine, I think, would pay bigger dividends for Sotjador unless, or for Findeed, unless Sotjador again somehow gets that close. I might be wrong though. But there you go, made up for Findeed. He's still got a bit more time for him calling the armour. He could go for a fuel cache to speed that process up, getting out tanks versus Sotjador. He's got a bit of movement here. I mean, he's still likely going to get out of tank before Sotjador can, unless something goes horribly wrong. Rifling up here, Sturmpan is waiting on the other side of the hedgerows. Looks doing what he can, they're slowly approaching Medicine 3. And in the east, or a bit further to the right, we've got the M20 dealing with the Volkskriegs in the east though. We got here Sotjador holding off against Findeed's attacks. He's got the fuel point here. And Findeed is not making a lot of progress here. Sotjador's defense is too well dug in here with the sandbags. Again, one reason is always, nice idea to go for them, but now he might see the Pathfinders, they're making mockery of that, and there you go, that's going to be a white. I think that's going to be a white. But no. Oh, Sotjador has the double zone knock here. He should not live through that one. And Tankan actually got white. That's rather unfortunate here for Findeed, for the 4th Armoured Division. Great stuff though for Sotjador, particularly if they actually get it or destroy it. Back here, healing reinforcement. Got the forces living slowly overwhelmed. Back here, repairs for Sotjador. Still some time for calling in the armour, though he's actually gaining ahead of Findeed now, which is definitely a worrying point here for Findeed. Of course, he doesn't know it, but he might have a suspicion. Cat moving up here with the bar, getting the Volksgrenadiers. Brandhand Granada there, swiftly delivered by Sotjador into Findeed's awaiting men. Bit of skirmishing and casualties slowly piling up here against Findeed. In the east, got another push here, but the machine gun is very much going to be an obstacle here, though he might try and call their artillery on the machine gun to rout it. Pathfinder's backing up. Still not much else of the doctor. Oh! Sotjador isn't paying attention, or at least it might be too late here. Unless, of course, Sotjador once more has proven to be absolutely lucky here, as every single shell flies widely off the mark. That's going to feel a bit bad there for Findeed. But obviously, could have committed a bit more than, waited a bit, but who knows. In the west here, though, machine gun being dealt with by the M20 almost guy. We got Lux rolling in. Findeed's closing in on the tank here, though. Big 2 points wise, he's almost caught up with Sotjador, but there's still some way to go. Actually, there's quite a bit of way to go. I might have been slightly exaggerating. In the centre, the Lux lays down a heroic line of fire against the American troops in the east. Big 10 rifling up, you got the Puma hammering away, 3 kills, closing in on veterans 1. Orbs on the way there for Sotjador. Veterans 3 for the Lux Aufklärungspanzer. Nice hit on the Puma, there you go. Full volley here from the Lieutenant Japan, that upgrade with double bazookas. An interesting choice there by Findeed. Still no paratroops, we can actually go for the Sherman now. Of course, he might end up going for Jackson instead. And we got Obersoldaten now for Sotjador finally. Some hardened veterans over the Panzerlehr. Amongst some of his men actually had Eastern Front veterans, with the Knights crosses amongst them. Fun fact. Major moving up here. M20 standing about here. Need to fix that one up though. It's not going to last long as the Puma. In the west, Findeed is making much better progress, but it's not translating to good progress in the east side here. He's still not going for any Jacksons or Shermans either, so it makes you wonder what he's thinking. So I could hit with a Panzer IV now, though he might of course figure he actually wants a Panther instead. We'll have to see what Sotjador ends up with. But there you go, Jackson away for Findeed. He is clearly worried about an enemy tank here. Fifth caliber down to heavy fire from the Schwer Panzer headquarters, 37mm flak. And there you go, Sotjador does commit to the Panzer IV, the Panzerkampfwagen 4. Workhorse of the German Panzerwaffe. Most produced German tank, but non-armoured fighting vehicle that actually went to the Stug. A fun fact, the Panzer IV was almost as produced as the Stug. So, fun fact there. Second most produced tank was actually the Panther. Also, in addition, another fun fact about German Panzer IV production numbers. Part of it was basically because at some point Hitler actually put a hard cap on how many Panzer IVs they could produce a month. Like, he kept actually trying to stop Panzer IV production entirely, and they had to repeatedly every single time convince him not to do so. And the second time they just managed to like set a hard cap. I think it was like 300 Panzer IVs per month and not one more. So that definitely played a role in it. Part is because at some point he just wanted to produce all. First, initially, wanted to stop Panzer IV to produce all Panthers, and then it was to, I think, either produce the Jagd Panzer IVs to Stug 4, and just cancelling all Panzer IV production for that. There you go, 20 spot level Ikerno takes directed here with an 88 rocket in the centre here. Panzer IVs having a pretty easy time so far until the anti-tank weapons begin opening up, and against there you go. And one shoot bounces off the Panzer IVs. Armour, Jackson moving in, and there you go. Shot bounced up, but the Jackson hand is having none of that and penetrates the Panzer IV's armour. In the west, Sotjador holds the line, routing Findeed's forces. Sotjador slowly turn the tide here against Findeed once more. There you go, Puma ambushing here the Jackson before taking a nasty hit that shocks the crew quite a bit. Obersoldaten with 1 kill, so far not much else. Jackson joining in the west. Luke's getting a few hits against Lieutenant in the east. We've got to push here and attempt, I think, to flank a battle. In this case, Sotjador's machine gun position proved to be a bit too much. But there you go, bigger push here, but also bunched up. Oh, no. Sotjador breaks his decides not to risk it and falls back in the machine gun, collapsing the eastern position, leaving only the Obersoldaten to hold the line. There, cute troops standing about in the west. We've got Jackson moving up here, backed up by Riesen's 50 calibers. Got that Panther formed up, however, we got the Panzer Commander up forward. Very nice choice there by Sotjador, and straight to the anti-tank, which this time actually penetrates. Same for bazookas, shots bouncing off the armoured side skirts there, which by the way weren't designed to withstand bazooka fire. They actually decided to deal with anti-tank rifle fire. They will later replace the armoured skirts on the Panzer IVs with wire mesh, which theoretically had a better chance versus bazookas and the likes. Fun fact. Back here, troops are reinforcing, Luke setting up, Puma standing about, they're half 8 of H72, and we got paratroopers finally here for Findeed, 23rd minute mark. Jackson recruiting from the front. Breaks here from the anti-tank and the Jackson, leaving the Panzer IV crew quite sad before being routed. And there you go, Panzer IV utterly kaput here, shattered by Findeed's anti-tank forces, leaving nothing but a burning hulk of metal here for Sotjador. His looks though remains spry as ever as it tears through Findeed's lieutenant. Big 2 points wise, Findeed's behind Sotjador still. He's not been quite successful in catching up there with Sotjador, who remains a tenacious and pugnacious opponent. Quick smoking off here. Directed here from the Puma on the M20. Ace Pathfinders here. That's actually a bit of a problem here for Sotjador's forces, depending on how they're used. But he might want to add some bars. I mean, Pathfinders with BARs is, by the way, really good. Paratroops equipped with the Browning light machine guns. Personally, I prefer the Thompson, but the Browning course is also really solid. Pathfinders routed. Findeed needs to build up an armored force. Needs, I think, pull off a great flank here versus Sotjador. Worth noting that findeed has actually no artillery whatsoever, admittedly neither does Sotjador. But I would say findeed has a greater choice in artillery compared to Sotjador. So there's certainly an argument to be had there. Skirmishing here and there, we got the M20 power still alive here for findeed. Noting he's still only, I think, got that one mine down. I could be wrong, but I think that is the only mine he's got. Only against Sotjador. Where Sotjador has been laying down multiple Shumin. It stands for Schutzmine. It could technically also stand for just Shu, because if you hit that mine, you likely didn't need the Shu for that foot anymore. It was designed to maim, not kill. Because the Germans rather figured that if you maim someone, there's A, more psychological horror as they scream in your ride and pain, and then B, that means they have to pull someone out the front to, support him, and it also just eats up supplies, whereas a corpse, dead, that's it. So the Germans design mines, maim. Fun note there, we get a mortar on the way for findeed. He does go for a bit of artillery, a few smokes from here and there, I think could be quite effective as a Sotjador. M20 out in the open there, goes straight into the Puma as well. Not a good move here, smoke screen off. Can findeed's M20 this time last? Holy smokes, that one's been just blessed by the gods. Actually, its luck ran out by the Raketenwerfer, who finally put it out of his misery, leaving findeed one M20 shorter and sadder. Most Obersoldaten there, chewing its way through findeed's west line. He tries to line up here, I think, from the salty, but I don't think it's necessary. It might just is more containing. In the west here, though, halted up by the 5th Cavalry there, quickly pulled into line. Luke's gaining the ace level. That's a definite problem there for findeed. Let's see what happens next. Sotjador's either setting up for a Panther here or a King Tiger. So findeed, it's a bit less clear what he's playing at, but he needs to play out a bit harder. Kednev creeping up, he's probably expecting the Jackson to arrive to deal with the looks, and that's in fact a really good read on the situation. Tank is setting up as well here. Tiny chance of taking out the looks, but obviously here Sotjador immediately pulls back as soon as he begins. Coming under fire in the centre, halted up as well. And not much on the side, got some mortar fire raining down, the lieutenant's suppressed. Machine gun under fire. If indeed needs to do something impressive, I think there's a Sotjador who's starting to really bleed out victory. Points got 140 left, 139. But Sotjador is refusing to yield ground here to the Americans, to the Verdammten armies. Like a true German soldier. Luke's being fixed up, Puma good to go. And it sounds to look a lot like a King Tiger here for Sotjador. I mean, he's got such a massive map advantage. And findeed's just not making any breakthroughs, so there's a theoretical argument here that Sotjador can actually get away with stalling for a King Tiger. Also, the sort of current state of affairs is not going to matter much with the Panther, since you need something that can sort of break through findeed's last lines, and the King Tiger is much more suited for that than the Panther. Ooh, damaged engine, bad news there. Though, don't think findeed's going to take really advantage of that. West side here, 92's got the insane leaving pursuit and taking out. Not enough backup in from there for findeed. The paratroopers are going in. They could try and flank here, but the anti-tank crew does go down. That's a definite issue there for findeed, since he lost some precious veterans here in the centre. We got a push up through there, routing Sotjador's machine gun. Sotjador remains, I would say, mostly in control of the situation, but findeed is proving to be a bit more unpleasant now. As findeed realises he needs to get a bit more aggressive here. He needs to put the pressure on Sotjador. Otherwise, Sotjador's going to put the pressure on him. More, that is. Hitting points here and there. He has successfully slowly worn down Sotjador's line and pulled ahead. But the question is, of course, can findeed not actually hold it, or would Sotjador just push him back again? Nope, Sotjador doesn't end up committing for the Panther. It did look like he was going to aim up with the King Tiger here, but I'm guessing in the end he sort of stalled. And we got a blend cover grenade by the attempted to sort of prevent findeed from shooting at him, but also more importantly from just rushing at him. Since if he tries to run through the blend cover, Smokey's going to take some nasty hits. But Ken with the spotted, and we can cut down here by the heavily equipped paratroopers. Findeed might want to consider some fighting position if possible, to sort of help hold some of the points and free up infantry for other actions. Sotjador's Panthers almost done. Germans are taking money counter to the Pathfinder, got the 5th Corps setting up, they've got the Lux moving in and tankers, machine guns, Jackson hanging back, Panther almost done in the centre, troops being shot to bits here, paratroops could flank, but no, there's a mine in the way. Still almost got the machine gun here. In the west, Sotjador's assault continues unthwarted. Focusing up for the centre, we got the captain on watch. Back here, 5th Cavalry routing back. We got nothing for going there for Findeed space. It could go for more armour. Theoretically, we had the manpower for it. In which case, could go for Sherman. Panther out here for Sotjador for the German army. No upgrade for it yet. Either could work out. I mean, Panther Commander with all the munitions got calling a lot of artillery on Findeed. Make it hard for Findeed to stabilise the situation if it happens during an attack. Got the Jackson standing about here, halfway to Vetu 2. Panther moving forwards. Centre's actually quite weak here for Findeed. His forces are scattered, most of them actually back in place. So now it's a really good potential chance of sort of this push ahead. Lieutenant rapidly caught out in the open machine gun fire and all other sorts of fires. He's stopping Findeed dead in his tracks. It's an upgrade there for Sotjador's Panther, and a unit got wiped out. An unpleasant development here for Findeed. Looks like it was a rival got there, a bit of dust. Got a bit of movement here in the west, very good. And Jack and Flint with Kev not good. We got the option there, they could clear out the 5th Cavalry there. Particularly gets off a grenade here. There you go, note by with Blend Cavalry again. Really nice, it's been a video, no look, I think ability by a lot of Obersoldaten players, but the blend curve and the right place actually, pretty good as well. It's great for clearing up buildings, it's great for negating machine guns, it's also just great for preventing them from rushing it, because if they try to run through it, they just, take a lot of damage. So great to see someone actually make use of this. Actually, I think the first time I've seen someone make sort of consistent use of the blend curve in ages. Hopefully it's not going to be another year before we see that. Patrick doing what they can here, 6 kills, veterans 1, victory upon the centre being secured, push up the eastern side. Sotjador's lines are frayed there and cannot hold. We got a second Obersoldaten spotted here for Sotjador, realising, hey, Obersoldaten are pretty great. I think more Oberkommandos players should go for them, but until then, Sotjador will go for them. Either way, pushing up here on the west side, Major standing back, could try and call in this strike here to sort of break up Sotjador's assault in the centre, continue fighting here, Patrick fell back. Rather said now the one's taking the beating here from the Panthers, since the bazookas can actually hurt it, the light machine gun can. So there we go, carrying all the victory points again. Sotjador's Obersoldaten almost done. If indeed he could go for a tank or tank destroy more. There you go, Jackson moving up to back up things further, closing in eventually 2 in the east, holding the line here. Looks to him when he can, 32 kills for Deutschland. And the Western regions catching the forces to lay down sandbags. Farming positions I still think would be a great addition if indeed at some point to cover up some of these victory points. 109 versus 275. Jackson moves in, shoots the looks and takes off a nice chunk of its health. Also on that machine gun, paratroops taking casualties. My God, the Americans are shooting back as the light machine guns fire. Quickly, Helmut, grab your machine gun gewehr and shoot some back in the head. In the head, it's a machine gun gewehr, not a sniper rifle. Just try hard enough, you'll eventually get it. Shown on the way there for Findeed, for America. The M4A3, we got the Obersoldaten moving up here, close to Veteran 2. We turn there, held down, we got some weapons being dropped there. Captain could try to assist. In the centre, we got Sotjador moving on the west, jump we got the Kedma backing up. And, ooh, machine gun dropped here. Looks like Findeed is slightly starting to crumble here. Like a cake that's got a bit too long in the oven. Sherman almost on here with Findeed. He's also got access to the P-47 rocket strafe. So, oh dear, that might have been misclick, actually an accidental order that way. The Jackson would head there without any support and blind into a kidnapper. Seems like Findeed is a bit stressed out, maybe. struggling to compete with Sotjador's rapacious attacks, as he shows no mercy to the enemies of Deutschland. Jackson being fixed up. We got a paratroop being suppressed by the MG-34. Ooh, 50 cover that. Oh, managed to suppress them just in time. Mortar doing what he can there, forcing them away. And we go Sherman out for findeed, for freedom, democracy. Ooh, machine on the hand is taking quite a beating there. Unless Luke's moving up, gonna need some support there. Smoking to lay down with the Sherman. He got like Kedmeth, though. If we could steal that, it'd be great here versus Sotjador. But he's got the Panther inbound, and findeed's actually otherwise a bit light in anti-tank weapons here. Oh, he might not be able to get to the Kedmeth there. The arriving infantry and the Panther there pretty much precludes him from doing it. But there goes Sherman Jackson moving up. Might just be able to do it still. That's like Kedmeth. That's going to be back in Sotjador's hands. But now the folks are then being let out a bit. Big 2 points wise is 89 versus 231. So I do almost something of white P8 to findeed. Got the P47, the rocket strafe here ready. The kid never routed. Sherman Jackson hanging back in the west. We got the centre hold up there, and in the west, Sotjador leads the way with also now equipped not just with the brown light. Oh, well, with a brown automatic rifle, but also, of course, the Obersoldaten light machine gun, the LMG-34. Quickly suppressed, taking heavy fire from the Pathfinders and the machine gun. A deadly kill on here for Sotjador's Obersoldaten in the centre there, pushing up the support from the looks. And the east large engagement going on here. This indeed is slowly feeding more into this meat grinder, but the question is if he's actually making any progress. And it looks like findeed has decided this engagement is rubbish and pulls back from it, which is probably the best decision. I mean, sometimes one of the best, a very good skill to have, I'm not saying one of the best, one of the better skills to have is just being able to know when an engagement is actually worth it to fight and when it isn't, because sometimes if you can still quickly figure that, you can also just quickly cut your losses and retreat, and some players have a tendency just to keep feeding troops and equipment into when battle they aren't winning anyways. Nice use of blend cover again by Sotjador, thumbs up. And there you go, we got the P40s moving in here. The problem is, of course, without line of sight, it's kind of useless. Additionally, there's a bit of an issue since the zone of operations can right next to the Schwerpunted Cordis, meaning they're going to take as much fire as possible than Sotjador can lay on them. Also, it's kind of against the looks, which, I mean, seems a bit overkill. There you go, one aircraft shot down here by the Schwerpanzer headquarters. The third similar flat that continues to just launch hell at it. Half is almost wiped out. You got 15 points left here for D. The situation looking a bit grim here, to put it very mildly. Got that Panzer commander up in the Panther. Direct hits here on the Lux. Almost taking out the once more. The Lux escapes death here at the hands of findeed's many tank hunters. Mine spotted. Lots of... Has he upgraded almost everyone of units with bazookas by now? It almost seems like it. Grenades off the as Sotjador punches forwards. Maybe to just finish off the job. He got 36 points left here for findeed. Mine goes off on Sotjador himself as the bazooka set off machine gun defending the western point, but might not be enough. Captain here wiping out the filters up close. The bars and the Thompsons doing their nasty work. Oh dear, they got caught in the sandbags and got wiped. Bit of loss there for Sotjador at this stage. Probably not a critical loss that's going to cause the entire thing to fall apart for him. In the centre here though, Sotjador is trying to go out for the victory point here. It's not quite going as smoothly as he would like, but there you go. Blenkerber again down. I really got to give credit to Sotjador for that one. I mean, he's really just on the ball with that one. So few players are getting used to it. I mean, he's an almost some sort of Obersoldaten genius. Got losing going straight for the captain there, tearing them apart with heavy autocannon fire. They were all splintering under the heavy fusillade of autocannon fire this Lux is unleashing. Back here, troops reinforcing. Closing infantry 3 here on the Obersoldaten. Sherman on the west side here to try and attack in. There's only one machine in the back to hold up, so he might be able to make some progress. So they got the infantry following up. Jackson moving in, trying to take out that Lutz, but overextending. He does save the captain, the weapons are dropped, but he might end up losing the Jackson if he's not careful. Panther at work here in the center, could cause some artillery down, he's got plenty of missions to do so. Captain wiped out, paratroopers taking a beating here from the Obersoldaten as more infantry sort of pulls in here for Sotjador. Sturmpioneer routing. 11 points left here for findeed, for freedom. Democracy. For the 4th Armoured. And this time around, a good old-fashioned bomb grenade here. Obersoldaten moving out. Machine gun wipe. Things are falling apart rapidly here for findeed. Seems to be a total collapse of the 4th Armoured Division now in the face of the Panzer Division. Units dropping left, right and centre here. The front line is rapidly giving away now. MD-34 moving up here. Sherman hammering away. 11 kills closing veterans to 1. Charging in here, clearing out Sotjador's forces. Still being rendered neutral here. Machine gun wiped. Problem is he's still going to bleed out. He's down to 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and there you go. Game over. A loss of findeed, a loss of freedom, a victory for the German army. A nasty fight, I would say. To a small degree, I think just won by Sotjador making good use of the Obersoldaten and their blend cover grenades and really overlooked ability there. So nice work there by Sotjador. Was also, I think, quite flexible, good attacker. Also good use of the light vehicles for findeed on the hand struggle. But I also feel like at times didn't compare to make good use of ability when it could have been, I think, laid down M6 and a tank much more aggressively as a Sotjador. And I also feel like his doctoral use was also a bit weaker side. I mean, he only went for the captain. He was also better off just calling in the anti-tank guns instead and just using that to back himself up, rather than going for the captain just to call in one anti-tank. In that sense, it was just a bit weird. Just one anti-tank and why not two? And in that regard, artillery was also a bit least. So in some ways, I feel like this wasn't one of findeed's finest matches, sadly. But still, I mean, he did pretty well. It was close to time thing to breaking through, but ultimately, just at times, just fell short and just couldn't sort of, make the big breakthroughs. Also, at times, there's a bit of a lack of flanking, made it easier for Sotjador to defend. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell your friends. Tell your family. This is Imperial Dane. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye.